for
Nsem-Pii will honor more, now Nsem so it is. Utie, now share on my YouTube channel.
Be the first to know Nsem-Pii TV. Yama kwa baba Nsem-Pii TV platform eso Nsem-Pii yasomo Nsem-Pa ebetodwa ewo magane mu ha. Na numere ye dienkensuo a ye de bremo from the office of the Honorable Minister for Justice and Attorney General for the Republic of Ghana, Honorable Godfrey Yeboah Dame Esquire. Yes, na suye and asa nkratoi efriba. Say the duplicate docket ekuta the charges and the official statements regarding former NPP member Osanso a former NPP for Pon Katamanso, now a staunch advocate for Alan Kyeremateng, our director in charge of special duties at the Alliance for Movement for Change. Hopeson Yaovi Adoye, yes, ne duplicate docket no. Attorney General and Saka, CCA Attorney General, and the culture we see every year. Attorney General, a free London, and Lande Wakana Hano, dockets are requested here. Aside Richard Japa, ne ambulances and semno was the docket of Hopeson Yaovi Adoye. Na ene court ekwasetena because ne agenda data Dansoman circuit court any share yes ene Hopeson Yaovi Adoye and afi so state prosecutors MMP more court na semno baby omo kandru ye the last time I called to France that is May 23rd 2024 no ye to aso na ne court etna se no Chief Inspector Christopher Wonder, our lawyer prosecution, Chief Inspector no audit to the circuit court in Dansoman, and Yamame, Her Honor Halima Abdul El Lawal Basit, a case so as the trial judge no, or the two names, my honor, Petsayenka, or my America cra. Say docketa ekuta charges any statement the person you did this same way no emprempre ya ye kase yakwa akwa de akwa koma the office of the Attorney General and Godfrey Yeboah Dame ehwem the deputy Alfred Tua Yeboah ensu ehwem Director of Public Prosecutions Yvonne Atakura Obuobisamo enso atenase omohwem said ye beya publication of false news kwelu a ye de born also can claim one or more ebetimi ehunu say other articles be constitution ni ma ombetimi e dia bono na isan say Hopeson Yaovi Adoye on May 10th ekotena Accra FM show a friends the citizen show e de kokotu dwa say ono ene nkofo bi after some moto aba in 2016 efa ka free tema ekopiem akosombo etwamu e de kopiem voter region na jumadi ba kopeno nkokodi ye or say they went to detonate. These are the words of here. Or say they went to detonate dynamite. Yes, dynamite. The papa bo edi a good year difference as yasi just say the explosion no and yasi kutwa. Ebi ne see Ghana ha in the year 2022. Our apiache. Just a crony na dani butu ya crony say ne nana adedan kwakufo do ni MPP anomu omunyu mapenti o masa sikuri foforo no. That is the effect of dynamite detonation between the upper. Hopeson Yaovi Adoye got two jaw the citizen issues. Say no. Dynamite be no ko jagu e voter region border no so. Emma from mancham for omo free voter region baby on beto aba ye hunu omo four steps entering trisi omo e prevent omo from voting and no enema asat ono awia. Hopeson Yaovi Adoye no to na ba wi okobusa total number of vote cast e voter region na ewo from you know say ono sa brena no John MPP no oni MPP for ni bi ene kokohia ya omoko detonate sa dynamite no eti for we ya asem no kokopie mu ewo court no Hopeson ko dynamite no kan say enye dynamite say my honor it is not dynamite name a firecracker yes no count am kola di agro ni bi firecrackers at the cause post stadiums ahodo supporters shi jama ntimi shego a omo eso ewo stadium ho di jomani no afei the Hopeson si anobi no mokotoye enye dynamite eno mokotoye the sitting circuit court magistrate no Anna Halima Elawa Abdul Basit eti ensansebwe from state prosecutors no Chief Inspector Wonder say docket na copy mo Attorney General so na no say dia and your own can because the Attorney General represented the whole state. It is a case you were very involved there. I was here train now on him now our fresh chances we were press here or court na swati now so we refer someone to high court and now to any competent court of jurisdiction. I brought the circuit court in jurisdiction now. Attorney General Abema na swati in TC say there or no magistrate no circuit court magistrate no her Anna Halima Abdul El Awabasit me say or 2 cases no e dey akwa 31st July on the office of the Attorney General over 1 month so mo fan hwem na de ompeso omo ye fa ho bi omo nya fa ho de ompeso omo ka fa ho bi omo kan fa ho ansana obe continue with the case. And this is the latest on Hopeson Yaovi Adoye in Nsem-Pii okoko jina eye radio so ekeka yes na yabeka ya Nsem-Pii we eba no one of the statements are movement for change omo echitafo ni bi and leading members ni bi urabo abia samwa edebe tu dwane say ohe said in Nsem-Pii ko the Hopeson Eco Police Headquarters the transfer no ede no ministries now kokoda honum for a whole day ade chinye na ye fast tracking the process and go PMO e court or say a political witch hunt or say a political plot to be and tie sadi we chintia amaya chi Hopeson Yaovi Adoye. Now let me quote what he said. The Hopeson Adoye is not about to run away from Ghana or from his home because the police intend to charge him with the publication of false information. So to go to the extent of keeping him all day in the police station and bringing him over to the ministry to detain him, you point fingers backwards at yourself that there is something political at play and it is not fair. This is Yabo Abia Samoa, our new spokesperson for Movement for Change, Alan Kyeremateng. And you know, Emrano, Edie, and Holom, say Emrano, Obi Bia na Obefum Rano, or said in the farmer council, said Yabea, Mom wage so, and conquest are from so nearby. And Hopeson Yaovi Adoye, Emra Kwanswan in the number. State prosecutors, Attorney General him na charge the bonus CCA said publication of false information and on kwan in the Bebona. When the kind Aquapimo court, Aquacase, nay, dynamite, na firecracker. Name a both video no channel court, you besides the Hopeson. Your Casay, your what, now Casay, and I say your what. Now, judge need to compare, say a perjury, so I be sure it into the wood chapter. Now, quite do of honor and tansa of honor in the Bebona, in the Bonwa, Ghana Hena, Ubia Abeti. This is the latest in the Hopeson Yaovi Adoye case. Paul and Domochre has something special to see. Umi Ntiro.
Asaga. So Asaga was my good friend. One day I went to Joy FM and I had a story from Asaga. So my boss, Sam Men's called me and said, but why don't you interview Victor Salome? Why you always interview Asaga? First of all, Salome has more information, don't you think so? I said, but Salome doesn't talk to journalists. So I don't. He said, talk to Komla about that. So I went to Komla and said, Charlie, the boss said, I can't tell you that. Victor said, but why is he asking you to tell me? He said, so what's the matter? I said, I want to interview Victor Salome. He said, but why? Why are you not able to interview him? I said, he doesn't grant interviews to journalists. So I talked to only Asaga. Then asked, those of you who know him, he says, Moku, go. So I sat in his car from Kokomremle, drove to the Ministry of Finance. We climbed up to the second floor, I think Victor Salome was. No, the third, the middle floor. That's where Victor Salome was. So we went to the corner. Then we sat in his office. Whilst we were on our way, Komla made 2 phone calls. I think he spoke to his father, and then he spoke to Victor Beho. Both are his relations, of course. Victor Beho at that time was foreign minister, and Komla's father was a electoral commissioner, one of the commissioners at the electoral commission, Professor Dumont. So he spoke to both of them, and I listened, but anyway. So I think he told them to tell Uncle V that he's coming to see him. So we climbed up, and we sat there. So the lady, I remember that lady still. She's very dutiful like that. She's about her duty. She was not about frills, So she came out and said, Joy FM? And we said, yes, it's us. He said, come. So I told Komla to go. We said, no, let's go. All right. So we entered Uncle V's office. He was sitting in the corner. So when he saw Komla, I said, hey, Komla Dumo, Fia Uji Fia, which is in Ewe, it means boss or kin or something like that. And that was one of the words that we had used in our jingle for Komla. Fia Uji Fia, we said Komla Dumo, the boss player, the Fia Uji Fia. We had a jingle like that. So when he walked in, Salome said, Fia Uji Fia. Then Komla said, Uncle V, how are you? You know how Komla smiles. And then Salome said, why have you brought this troublesome man to my office? Referring to me. I put my hands behind me. He said, oh, he's my man. So they sat down. They had a conversation of about 10 minutes or so, unrelated to the reason why we were there. They were talking about their matter. They seemed to be very close family relation people. They really sort of knew each other and liked each other. So at the end of the conversation, Komla said, signal me to come to the table. And he said, Uncle V, he's going to ask you questions about the budget was about to be read. He said, he's going to ask you questions about the budget and so and so and so. And so he said, I should put the recorder down and open it and let's do the interview. And Uncle V said, don't ask me any silly questions. I said, no, I'll ask you any silly questions. I said, okay, Uncle V, what's your expectations about the budget? They said, put it off. I wrote the budget. You're asking my expectations about it. I said, oh, no, it's just a formal, you know. Then he did the interview and we had a nice. Then I told Komnada, let's go to Asaga's office as well because he's my man. He said, oh, he's here. I said, yes, he's at the other end. So we went to Asaga. So there I was in control because Moses is my man, you know. So he saw me, he said, hey, Paul, Then we spoke. So since then, after they left office, Musa Asaga is my friend. We talk all the time. I mean, even interesting difficulties or interesting situations have occurred where he has called me to come to his house. And he was a Roman rich. And we've dealt with all of those things. So Asaga is my friend. When I was at MPA, I will see him every now and then. When he was at MPA, incidentally, I met him several times only on British Airways. I'm going to London, he's in a plane, I'll worry him till we get to London. And I'm like that with him. So when I saw Asaga in this story, I was like, Moses Asaga owning property. It's not him. He's not like that. I mean, I know politicians. I know many politicians because I've been working with them. And I can easily tell a politician who is like that and who is not like that. It's very easy for me to tell, especially Ghanaian politicians that I've worked with. So, well, I said, let's see. Anyway, so we look at the story today. Now, let's get the details of the story. So the story is that Moses, Inu Safuseni here, who used to be my neighbor at Spintex Road, and Moses Asaga here, and two other persons, Mr. Amwa, is that his name, Apeku? Asamwa, who used to be at the Electoral Commission, and these are John Mohammed's appointees, and also a Supreme Court Judge, Anthony Benin, who was also appointed by John Mahama. The scandal that is breaking, ladies and gentlemen, is that these men whose names I've mentioned have acquired property, significant property in the United Arab Emirates in Dubai. They were all appointees of John Dramani Mahama. Tonight we're going to start from there and then we'll come to the land issue. So let's start. That's the whistle. Okay. John Dramani Mahama, good evening, sir. The problem now is that some of your appointees are said to have been owning property in Dubai. By the way, President Mahama has issued a statement that we will consider and look at it at the end of the story. He's issued a statement and he's entitled to have the statement exposed if we're doing a story like this. So we'll definitely do it. Mr. President, the story is that your appointees have property in Dubai, of all places. Your opponents in the MPP are linking the properties to you yourself. They are suggesting this evening that these properties are being held in trust for the boss, for the Fiawujifia. So we don't know. We on this program cannot tell whether the property is being held for you. We have no way to tell. What we know though is that these properties are in the name of these appointees of yours. As you are seeking re-election, it looks like this story has come at a very, very wrong time. But you are doing well because the media this morning didn't quite talk about it, especially electronic media. They didn't say anything about it, but Prince Media did something on it. We'll share with you what the Prince Media published about it. So, Mr. President, our duty tonight is to look at the story, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Okay, we are not going to be like Jakpa, who is telling some truth and he leaves some truth out. We are going to say the whole truth, nothing but the truth. We do not know whether the properties are linked to you or not. What we know, though, is that these men were appointed by you. We do not also know whether you are aware of these properties or whether you have seen the story. As for the story, we know you've seen it because you have issued a statement. Good evening, Mr. President. If you are watching us, thank you very much for watching. And now, here we go. Inu Safuseni, good evening. A good friend of mine. I think I like Inu Safuseni because he's very articulate. And he's a man who is satisfied. Inu Safuseni is a satisfied man, you know. I like him for that. One day he appeared on Joy FM. It was a Saturday on Newsfile. And they were doing this old school thing in the season of the old school thing that Joy FM used to do. And then he was complaining to the host, I think it was Samson, that why is it that when Joy FM is doing the old school, they don't mention his school? He was very, very angry. Then he mentioned the name of his school and the people in the studio were laughing. And then he was laughing at them, but why are you laughing? This is the school that has produced Inu Safuseni as a teacher and a lawyer. So you people shouldn't laugh. And I really like that about Yunus Hussein. He's a very simple man, easy to deal with. He takes criticism nicely. He's a very, very cool dude. That's what they call cool dude. You know, when you are in New Jersey and they say somebody's a cool dude, that's Yunus Hussein. Anyway, let's move on and see. As for Asaga, he's such a good friend of mine. We finished talking about it. Uncle Moses, you remember our conversations on British Airways when you were MP in the 2014 and 15? I'll look for you and then we continue it, okay? Uncle Moses, good evening. His Lordship, I don't know him that well. I've never spoken to him. I've never met him. But his name is His Lordship Justice Bennion. And then our friend here, Mr. Samoa, is also a member of the Electoral Commission. And they were all said to have been part of the process. Now, let's get to the process properly. So I go here and I go to internet. That's what they told me to do. You know, I'm old, so the computer thing sometimes. Great. So viewers, here, this is where we are. This is the Dubai situation, unlocking the matter. So let's roll down. It's coming down. Let's come down all the way, all the way, all the way, all the way. Da 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 dan 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 de. Okay, fantastic. Okay, Apeku showed me how to do it. Perfect. So these are the alleged culprits on the left in red. Anthony Bennion, category, politically linked, country, Ghana. Inusa Abdullahi Bistaf Fuseni, politically linked, country, Ghana. Joseph Kwekua Samwa, politically linked, country, Ghana. Moses Aduko Asaga, politically linked, country, Ghana. The next one is Abbas Rize Iravini. It says category is criminal and it's
Nsem-Pii TV